How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with not just a beer review, a lesson on checking dates. Yeah, got a little Mast landing up in this piece. This is an amber ale that is dry hopped. It's called Amsterdam. I was in an area of Pennsylvania I'm not normally in, and I stopped in a bottle shop. They had quite a few different beers in there, and I was looking around. I was like, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Mast Landing. I was like, you know what? It's been a while since I've had some. I'm like, ooh, an amber ale dry hopped. I can get on top of that. So yeah, I look down and I go, oh, good, 925. I'm like, this is like 2 weeks old. Score 925 2020. I just realized that when I sat down now. I didn't even look at the date. So this beer is almost a year old. We are going to review it just because I have it out, and we'll see what happened to it. A little bit of science. So if this beer is delicious, good on Mast Landing. If it's not Mast Landing's fault. It's my fault for not checking dates. So there you go. I'm like a year old. Amber ale, fine. Dry hopped. We'll see how this sucker ends up. So you're talking about 2 fingers of actually beautifully creamy, delicious, kind of khaki, maybe north of that milk duddy level malt ball kind of vibes. And honestly, it does look like almost like a barley wine. How it comes off is this rich, kind of thick and dense kind of brown. And it comes off more like even Belgian double like, or even triple like than anything else. So amber ale, sure, it looks much, much more thick and hazy and darker than what I typically expect from an amber ale. I don't think time has really affected that coloration. You know, I think that's actually kind of probably what the beer looked like when it came out, but I could be wrong. Let's dive in. No one knows. That doesn't smell too bad. I mean, it kind of smells like a Cascadian brown ale. You know, a little bit of a hopped up, kind of darker ale. There's a soft touch of oxidation, but honestly, on the nose at least, I'm not getting a huge criminal amount of it. There's a nutty characteristic to it. It smells very much like a porter / brown ale kind of vibe to it. Not saying I hate this nose on there, and the hops are still kind of floating around in there. They're a bit more bittering, a bit more kind of West Coasty. That's why I went Cascadian brown ale. But it doesn't smell that bad either. Yeah, nutty characteristics, soft little bittering, sweet beer. We're diving in. Cheers. It's not bad. It's not bad. I really need to find this beer new. I don't know if it's rotational, if it's a one-off on this, but I'm really curious. What's the ABV on this thing? Only 5%. I am really, really curious about what this beer tastes like new. I'm going to have to kind of look around and see if what I'm getting taste-wise is kind of what people got off of this beer when it was originally made. So you're getting a rich, hazelnutty, brown, rich maltiness to it, followed by this big, relatively aggressive West Coast piney characteristic to it. Again, this is everything that would be a Cascadian brown ale if that style actually exists. So you're talking about a black IPA. This is a brown IPA. Very West Coast leaning. There is oxidation here, but like I said, it's not that poopy of an oxidative note. And there's a little bit of wet cardboard. Nothing too aggressive on here. That's not bad. I'm not going to sit here and say it's blowing my doors off. When I picked it up, I expected something a little bit different, even though I was just like, hop amber ale. Okay, let's see what it's like. Take a flyer on it. I like Mast Landing. But yeah, I'm going to have to give one of these to Keith and see what he thinks about it. Because I'm kind of curious to see what he thinks. Just because it's such a, this kind 5% brown ale, dry hopped, year old, you really just don't know. You know what I mean? What you're going to get. And what I got from it is honestly a very well done drinkable beer. Kudos to Mast Landing. A year old on a style like this to not just be drinkable, but enjoyable in a certain sense. I think that's pretty damn cool. I really, really do. I really do. Now I gotta search the internet, see if they still make this, and if I can find, if this is a rotational that comes out this time of the year, I will track some down, and I will do a side-by-side, and I will post this video with that side-by-side. Yeah, and it, That's poop on me for not looking at dates. I've had this happen to me before. One other place in Jersey, it's because it's so close to the date. But a year later, it's like sometimes I just get little blinders and I don't look at the year. I just look at the month and a day. Because I don't expect places to be holding on to beer like this. That's just, a little bit of a word of warning to people that you should always check your dates. If there's no dates, then assume it's old AF and don't buy it. But every now and then you have a happy little accident like this one. Not too shabby. There you go. Is this one of the better Cascadian brown ales I've had? Is it one of the better amber ales I've had? Whatever. It's out of date. I don't want to go through the whole rigmarole and just say I paid $16 for a 4-pack. And if you like what we like this, if you like beers that stand up the test of time, you will like this. There you go. Kind of a review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you've had this fresh or super old. Anywhere in between, or this year's iteration if they made one. Massive beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massif, podcasting stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little fresher Mass Landing right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.